His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, Vice President of the Republic of Guyana, the Honorable Anand Prasad, Minister in the Ministry of Local Government, Her Excellency Lisel Blankendal, Ambassador for Suriname to Guyana, Her Excellency Ambassador Elizabeth Harper, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Andrew N. Sabga, Chairman of the Ansa McCall Foundation, Professor Compton Bourne, Chairman of the Regional Eminent Persons Panel of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards for Her Excellence, for Caribbean Excellence, Major General Joseph Singh, Guyana's representative on the Regional Eminent Persons Panel, Mr. Anthony N. Sabga III, Chief Executive Officer of the Ansa McCall Group, and other executives of the Ansa McCall Group, Mrs. Maria Superville Nielsen, Program Director of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards for Caribbean Excellence, Mr. Shyam Nokta, 2022 Laureate in Entrepreneurship, and Ms. Anushka Sonai, 2022 Laureate in Public and Civic Contributions, members of our College of Laureates, Mrs. Beverly Harper, Ansa McCall Country Head for Guyana, and the Senior Executive of the Ansa McCall Trading Guyana, headed by Mr. Troy Cadogan, and all our distinguished guests. Greetings. I consider it a great privilege to speak on behalf of the Guyana Nominating Committee, and it is my further honor to welcome you on the occasion of the awarding of the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence 2022, a most distinguished and unique occasion. I have been honored to serve as chairman and to be a part of an elaborate and infinitely fascinating process which involves the recognition and the reward of excellence in the service of the Caribbean region. But considering the true meaning and the comprehensive nature of excellence itself, this cannot be parochial and translates into the service of mankind. As a part of the process, it was my pleasant task to lead a committed and knowledgeable group of individuals who have distinguished themselves in a variety of professional disciplines and areas of work, from academia, the arts and sciences, to administration and the public service. I have the liberty of paying tribute to these members of the Guyana Nominating Committee with whom I have worked. Mr. Vincent Alexander, Dr. Marlene Cox, Mr. Philip Da Silva, Mr. Alim Hossein, AA, and Dr. Sita Shah Roth, AA. To these I will add our researcher, Ms. Carinia Sharples. There are others who have served us in previous cycles, and some of whom are present here today. For example, I particularly welcome Dr. David Singh. The major theme that inspires all of this work is, as I have said, excellence. When truly applied in all its manifestations, it provides the profoundest and most sublime service to mankind. It is therefore deep-rooted and informs the rendering of the best service at all times, not only on certain occasions for selected things. It is a quality sought after and recognized by human society dating back to antiquity. For example, there is a memorable definition attributed to Aristotle of the classical era. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Even our practice of honoring laureates has its roots in the society where that quality was highlighted. I refer to the crowning of heroes and poets with laurel wreaths in the classical era, which became a time-honored ritual through the centuries, including in traditional African societies in which the success of men is marked and measured by the excellence of their work and achievements. As a country nominating committee, our task was the identification of excellence in the service of arts and letters, science and technology, entrepreneurship, and in public and civic contribution. Today, we honor two persons who have achieved the highest levels in this service. They are the 2022 winners of the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence in the fields of entrepreneurship and in public and civic contribution, Shyam Nokta and Anushka Sonai. The 2022 laureate for entrepreneurship is a Guyanese visionary businessman, administrator, and environmentalist, Mr. Shyam Nokta. Shyam has distinguished himself by his innovation and pioneering creativity in providing a very necessary service to environmental conservation and compliance with international standards demanded by the international community in relevant industries. He has provided consultancy support for the private sector and for government, while at the same time creating a successful business in order to do so. Shyam's contribution has provided advice and guidance that have fortified several clients, local and international, while he has rendered invaluable service to the government of Guyana. His company, Environmental Management Consultants, was testimony to his entrepreneurial prowess because of its financial and administrative success, as well as its reach in the Caribbean and internationally, and its formal recognition by the government of Chile, to give another example, who found it apposite to honor him with an international award. Another high point of Shyam's consultancy service is the additional service it provides in training. A great deal of field work is done, and this provides a training ground to persons in the area, as well as provides them with employment and income. These persons acquire the necessary high skills while working with the company. Ms. Anushka Sonai is a Surinamese, working and providing extraordinary national and regional service to Suriname and the Caribbean through her creation of 5 companies in the field of information technology, 3 of which generate financing for the other two, which are charitable service companies for the development of youth and women, enabling them to contribute meaningfully to various areas of technology and the digital industries. For us in the Guyana Country Nominating Committee, Anushka is particularly precious and gives us a profound sense of achievement. We are very humbled to have been asked by the ANSCAF to assume responsibility for our Caribbean neighbor, Suriname, for the purpose of making nominations from that country to these awards. We have a sense of pride in the fact that based on our nomination, Anushka is the first Anthony Sabga laureate from Suriname and the first to have been nominated by another country under this scheme of responsibilities. It speaks for the impact of her excellent work that she is thus elevated. She had the insight to recognize that while many youths receive training at the secondary level in their ability to satisfy the national needs without further tertiary training, that was not universally available to them. Anushka, therefore, had the vision to create companies working in the relevant fields which could provide funding for the training of youths and women. She further created 2 companies in which the actual training takes place. Anushka has made an impact in the advancement and empowerment of women, on whom she has placed a studied emphasis. Her service to the community and the region has seen tangible results that have been duly recognized in Suriname and in the Caribbean. It is therefore my profound privilege to invite you to witness the formalities that are to follow as we pay homage to the ageless quality of excellence. This is the 4th and final in the series of ceremonies to present the awards, which have already taken place in Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. Allow me to congratulate laureates Nokta and Sonai, who will be decorated this afternoon, as well as the others who have already gone through the process. I now have the honor to invite Professor Compton Bourne, Chairman of the Regional Eminent Persons Panel, to come to the podium and address you.
His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Her Excellency Lizelle Blankendal, Ambassador for Suriname to Guyana, Her Excellency Ambassador Elizabeth Harper, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Major General retired Mr. Andrew Sabga, Chairman of the Answer McCall Foundation, Major General retired Joseph Singh, Guyana's representative on the Regional Eminent Persons Panel, Mr. Al Creighton, or chair of the Guyana Nominating Committee, and other members of that committee, and other executives of the Anson McCall Group, Ms. Maria Superville Nielsen, Program Director of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards, Caribbean Excellence, Mr. Shyam Nokta, the 2022 Laureate in Entrepreneurship, and Ms. Anushka Sonai, the 2022 Laureate jointly in Public and Civic Contributions. Those members of our College of Laureates might be here. Mrs. Beverly Harper, Anson McCall Country Head, Guyana, and senior executives, Anson McCall, Trading Guyana. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We who are gathered here are enjoined to take pride in the accomplishments of those persons who have been named as the 2022 laureates of the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Excellence Awards. The process leading to the final recommendations is a very open and competitive one. Any Caribbean person can be nominated, and there is even the possibility of self-nomination. However, all nominees should have a demonstrable and recognized record of consistently superior, excellent, and original work, and should have potential for future development. These are quite exacting standards. But all of our laureates in 2022, as in previous years, satisfy those demanding criteria. Dr. Kim Jabut Singh, who was inducted as a laureate in Public and Civic Contributions at the ceremony in Barbados, has made tremendous public and civic contributions to the awareness of deficiencies in eye care in Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean, and towards improving the availability and quality of the requisite services. Professor Christine Carrington, who was inducted as a laureate in Science and Technology at the ceremony in Trinidad and Tobago, is an outstanding virologist, most likely best known in the Caribbean for her extremely valuable contributions to effective and efficient government and societal management of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Marlon James, who was inducted as a laureate in Arts and Letters at the ceremony in Jamaica, is a novelist of international repute and the winner of the Man Booker Prize in 2015. Our laureates, as you've heard, who will be inducted in this ceremony are Mr. Shyam Nokta in Entrepreneurship and Ms. Anushka Sonai in Public and Civic Contributions. You've heard already from Mr. Crichton something about their achievements, and you will have an opportunity to hear more about them and to hear directly from them. That each of the categories in which laureates are selected is considered of fundamental importance to social and economic development of our Caribbean countries requires no elaboration in this gathering. It may also be fully appreciated that the laureates embody a professional and social philosophy articulated by a sage who said, quote, "It is not a question of how much a man knows, but what he makes of what he knows. Not a question of what he has acquired and how he has been trained, but of what he is and what he can do." The potential nominees are scrutinized and assessed by one of the 5 country nominating committees, representative of Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, the OECS, and Trinidad and Tobago. and the country nominating committees are empowered to go beyond their geographical boundaries in nominating candidates for the award, as Guyana has done twice in nominating candidates from Suriname. I would like on this occasion to pay tribute to the tireless efforts of the country nominating committees in ensuring that there is always a worthy list of nominees for consideration by the Regional Eminent Persons Panel. The chairs of the country nominating committees for the selection of the laureates in 2022 were Dr. Janine Comer of Barbados, Mr. Al Crichton, Guyana, Mr. Maureen Seymour, Jamaica, Dr. Lennox Honeychurch, OECS, and Mrs. Helen Drayton, Trinidad and Tobago. New chairs have been appointed to replace those for Barbados, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Angela Aline, a UWI biologist and biochemist, will chair the Barbados Committee. UWI Professor Emeritus Ishenkumba Kawa, a specialist in molecular chemistry, will chair the Jamaica Committee, and UWI Professor Surjpal Tilak Singh, the Science and Technology Laureate in 2011, will chair the Trinidad and Tobago Committee. I have no doubt that they will be worthy successors to the outgoing chairs. The Regional Eminent Persons Panel convenes annually to receive oral and written and video presentations on the nominees from the country nominating committees and to discuss the merits of the respective candidates. I can tell you that it is a thorough, exhausting process, made enjoyable nonetheless by the collegiality and camaraderie of the members of the panel. When we meet as a panel, we have before us so many truly worthy nominees for final consideration that in the final analysis, it is a matter of fine judgment. It would be remiss of me not to acknowledge in this forum the very valuable contributions of my colleagues on the Regional Eminent Persons Panel, namely Major General Joseph Singh, Justice Christopher Blackmun, Mr. Christopher Boville, Professor Emerita Bridget Brereton, Mrs. Charmaine Gardner, Sir Kenneth Hall, Professor Nigel Harris, Ambassador Irwin LaRocque, Mrs. Diana Mahabir Wyatt, and Justice Ralston Nelson. Mr. Chairman, we are in a country with material and financial resources and a global environment propitious for its economic and social transformation. Which brings to my mind a quotation from William Shakespeare, who wrote, "There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries." Shakespeare's words are applicable to countries, and specifically to Guyana at this moment in time. From what I have read in the Guyanese print media, the government of Guyana is wisely taking the tide at the flood. With these introductory remarks, I now yield the floor to Mr. Andrew Sabga, chairman of the Ansa McCall Foundation, but not before I express, as my immediate distinguished predecessor, Sir Shulat Rampal, has done on many occasions, our collective appreciation and high regard for the public spiritedness and commitment to fostering Caribbean excellence, which the Foundation and the Sabga family have unwaveringly displayed from the inception of the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence in 2006. I thank you for your attention.
His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Honorable Minister Anand Prasad, Minister in the Ministry of Local Government, Her Excellency Lisel Blankendal, Ambassador for Suriname to Guyana, Her Excellency Ambassador Elizabeth Harper, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Professor Compton Bourne, Chairman of the Regional Eminent Persons Panel, of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards, Caribbean Excellence. Major General Retired Joseph Singh, Guyana's representative on the Regional Eminent Persons Panel. Mr. Al Crichton, Chair of the Guyana Nominating Committee and other members of the Nominating Committee. Mr. Anthony N. Sabga III, shares a name with my father, Chief Executive Officer of Ansa McAl Group, and other executives of the Ansa McAl Group of companies. Mrs. Maria Superville Nielsen, Program Director of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards for Caribbean Excellence. The reason why we're here, Mr. Shyam Nokta, 2022 Laureate in Entrepreneurship, and Ms. Anushka Sonai, 2022 Laureate Joint in Public and Civic Contributions. Members of the College of Laureates present with us today, Mrs. Beverly Harper, Ansa McAl Country Head for Guyana, and all the other executives of Ansa McAl Guyana, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor on behalf of the Anthony N. Sabga, it is my honor on behalf of the Ansa McAl Foundation to welcome you to the 14th award ceremony of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards, honoring Caribbean excellence. We are here today to recognize two exceptional individuals, Mr. Shyam Nokta of Guyana and Ms. Anushka Varsha Sonai of Suriname for their contributions in entrepreneurship and public service. Mr. Nokta has successfully created a business in protecting the magnificent natural heritage of Guyana. His business, Environmental Management Consultants Limited, has instilled care and passion for the environment, a resolve often lacking within energy-rich nations. His efforts ensure that as the country progresses, nature's beauty will be preserved for years and for generations to come. Our other awardee, Ms. Anushka Varsha Sonai, Laureate in Public and Civic Contributions, is the first to be honored from Suriname. Ms. Sonai is an information and communication technology entrepreneur who has incorporated social initiatives into the heart of her business. Her group of companies, Creative Tech Hub Caribbean, and I hope I got that right, comprises of 5 commercial and artistic companies that train young people and women in the use of internet and IT to create businesses, find employment, and improve their livelihoods. She is also a regional advocate for the expansion of ICT and increasing the share of women participating in digital life and commerce. The vision, foresight, and drive to achieve and make a difference are qualities that all our laureates, including these two, exhibit. Their abilities to look at our lives and societies, identify areas of improvement, and provide solutions are honorable. They do this through their fields of work in science, art, social activism, and entrepreneurship. We have, along with our present group of laureates, honored a total of 44 remarkable Caribbean people so far. By country, Jamaica has 11 laureates, Guyana 12, Trinidad and Tobago has 17, Barbados 4, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States has 9, and today, Suriname has its first. That quality of work that our laureates do is really remarkable. But often, they work in isolation and go unsung outside of their small academic or peer communities. So I must praise our country nominating committees and the members of the Eminent Persons Panel who give freely of their time to seek out these exceptional Caribbean citizens and extract what I refer to as the best of the best. To you all, I must thank you. Looking at Mr. Nokta and Ms. Sonai and the other laureates this year, I can see what my father, Dr. Anthony N. Sabga, for whom these awards are named, admired most. My father was a Caribbean man, long before our Calypsonian black stallion coined the term in 1979. As a young businessman, he traveled the region in pursuit of his vision to create a pan-Caribbean organization serving the needs of our people. Early in his career, he invested time and significant resources into establishing many businesses regionally. Specifically, my father was always fond of Guyana. This country held a very special place in his heart. He first invested in this land and its people 30 years ago. Today, Ansa McCall's Guyanese holdings are considerable, with 7 companies employing over 450 persons. My father was firmly of the belief that people were the most valuable asset in any organization. As he fondly said it, the driving force behind greatness. From his travels, he interacted with many very talented and skilled Caribbean persons and felt compelled to find a way to harness that talent and help propel their good work for the benefit of our region. It is this realization that led to the formation of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards, honoring Caribbean excellence. We have awarded 44 laureates in total, a total sum of 24 million TT dollars to assist in their continuation of their work. We have staged 14 ceremonies in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Barbados, at a total cost of approximately $20 million. This means that we've invested approximately $44 million into this program since its inception. And we consider this to be one of our most important investments, highlighting the brilliance of our people, those who exemplify and reflect the true essence of leadership, collaboration, persistence, dedication, creativity, and innovation. We see these traits in our laureates in 2022. We see it in Marlon James, novelist from Jamaica, who has told stories of Caribbean people with great acclaim worldwide. In Dr. Kim Jabod Singh, ophthalmologist of Barbados, who achieved prominence educating Barbadians and West Indians about the importance of eye care and sharing her skills for regional benefit. And we see it in Professor Christine Carrington of Trinidad and Tobago, whose work as a scientist was able to provide help in the effort of combating the COVID-19 pandemic regionally and other infectious diseases. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize Guyana's long list of previous laureates, even as we prepare to induct Mr. Nokta and Ms. Sonai. Professor David Dibadine, Ms. Annette Arjun Martins, Mr. Sidney Alicock, the late Mr. George Simon, Ms. Karen D'Souza, Professor Paloma Mohammed, Mr. Winslow Craig, Dr. Arif Bulkan, Mr. Andrew Boyle, Mr. David Andrew Mendez, and Professor Suresh Narayan. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Mr. Nokta and Ms. Sonai are in distinguished company. And Guyana is a powerhouse of excellence. So, in closing, I would like to leave you with a gift that my father left behind for our family and for our business, a sense of hope in our Caribbean life and culture. We have the skills, resourcefulness, and talent within our region to transform our lives and the well-being of our people here in the Caribbean. We at the Anthony N. Sabga Awards are honored to highlight these great feats, celebrate Caribbean excellence, and assist in the furtherance of the work being done by the great citizens of the Caribbean region. I thank you.
It is my distinct pleasure now to welcome His Excellency to address us.
Thank you, please, thank you. I'm very honored to be in this prestigious room with distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You even make me feel distinguished. I'm particularly more honored today to be welcomed into the Marriott by an exceptional son of Guyana, a man who has contributed significantly to Guyana, but more importantly, to the Caribbean. And in a brief moment of reflection, I reflected on my own younger life, welcoming this same distinguished gentleman at the steps of the Caribbean flight during one of the Caribbean's Development Bank governors' meeting in Guyana. I speak of no other but Professor Compton Bourne. His own legacy and work has influenced me tremendously. I hope this region and Guyana as a whole would get to know him more. And I will seek him out on his visit to Guyana, because he is critically needed in this path that we're taking to prosperity. Excellence is something we are all acquainted with. You remember in your report cards at school, there'll be a column that says remarks, and the teacher would say excellent, good, very poor, satisfactory. But let us reflect on all those persons who had a perfect report card where everything was always excellent, and to see how that was translated into their contribution to society. And you will see a very small percentage coming through to what constitutes excellence in a society. Because excellence has nothing to do with individual accomplishment. You can be very excellent at what you do, but that is all you will be. You can demonstrate excellence in what you do, but in doing that, you change the prospect for society and people who live in society. Many companies, many of you run companies, you have excellent staff, and then you have excellent team player. More times, the excellent team player might be elevated to CEO, and the excellent staff might remain an excellent staff. Excellence has some values and qualities that are distinctly different from performing excellently. And that is why these awards, in my humble opinion, are different. The awards do not seek to find persons or individuals who are performing excellently, but it looks beyond that to see how that excellence is translated into societal upliftment, the upliftment of country, the upliftment of the region as a whole. My dear friend and sister here, once you're part of the region, you're part of a family. I don't know you personally, but from what I have read and heard, you have demonstrated what that excellence is and how that excellence was used to uplift society positively. But I do know Shyam Nokta well. Shyam and I share, and Shyam, I wasn't even asked anything about these awards, so just for the media. Shyam and I share a very, very close relationship. What I can say about Shyam is that he is very selfless. There are some things about him that no one would know, but Shyam could have assumed many things. But he sees himself as a contributor to society, someone who is gifted with a specific passion that must be shared with people. And he has done that selflessly. Those of who share a friendship with him knows that he values his friendship. Those are attributes of excellence that you must find. He values people's effort. He's very respectful. He's very calculative. Very, very calculative. Now, some people will say calculative people are very deadly. They calculate the exact point to strike. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. All fair. But he's calculative in a very good way. When he speaks, it's precise and to a particular point. So I am very pleased that I can be a dysfunction to honor our sister from Suriname and to honor not only a citizen of Guyana, but someone who I have the great privilege of referring to as my friend. In any difficult situation, I can always rely on a phone call from Shyam, and a phone call that is uplifting. And that speaks to the character of someone.